Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. I completed my first fall festival last weekend, so if you want to hear my reflections on that, please stay tuned. Even though this is a Whip It Wednesday video, I wanted to take some time and just give some reflections on my craft fair or my fall festival that was last weekend. If you've been following my channel, you know that I was working on these bags to take to the festival, and so I want to just give you a little bit of information about how they did and what my experience was. I went to the school and I got there at about 8 o'clock, and there were still a few things that I needed to gather to get everything together. I made a checklist, and normally I'm not like a list person, but I made a list of everything that I needed to do. I stayed up late Friday night to get that done. I'll put a picture of the booth at the beginning to show you kind of the way I had it set up. I'm not sure if it's the best setup, if it's the worst setup. I have no idea because I haven't done this kind of thing before. I had my bags. They were displayed on the little bookends from the media center. I borrowed those. And then I also had several of my quilts. You saw the pieces of my heart quilt, and I had two of my patterns. So I just had the pieces of my heart pattern here, and I put them in little storage bags. And then I had my busybody pattern here, and I just had a few copies of each one of those. I also decided that I needed something to perhaps take some special orders. So I made a little notebook here. This is my little binder, and it had information about placing a special bag order and about the t-shirt quilts. And I thought that was very successful to have it like that in my, to have it there in a binder and have it available. Here's my checklist that I made. You probably can't see it, but there were just a few things that I made to make sure that I didn't forget to do anything. And then I made little signs to go with my stuff. One of them says learn to quilt. And then I pulled the QR codes for YouTube and my Etsy here. And then I made little signs for my zipper bags. It says upcycled zipper bags, and it has the prices and everything on it. And so that went well. There were a lot of people at the fall festival, and so that was good. And the food and everything was set up in the cafeteria, which was where I was. So people got to walk past my my booth and see what I had. The hardest part was me actually having to make sure that I talked to people, because if you don't talk to them, they're not there for you at a school fall festival. So it was just making sure that I talked to people and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Some of the people knew that I am a teacher at the school. There were several people who didn't know who I was, and so that was neat that I could say, hey, who's your kid? And then I could talk about some of my quilt stuff. All right, so reflections. Positive, I sold some bags. Yay! And I was really excited about that. I actually sold 4 at the festival, and then I did a special order. One of the people had 3 daughters, and 2 of them picked the same bag. So I ended up having to come home that Sunday and make an extra bag, which was fine. And then my mom purchased a bag over the phone, so hers is set aside. And I actually sold one today while I was at school, because I showed somebody and she was like, hey, give me that one. So that was pretty neat. Most of what I did was sort of kind of networking, you know, telling people what I did. A lot of people were interested in the t-shirt quilts because they didn't know that I did something like that. And so to have somebody local who could make a t-shirt quilt could be important to some folks. So I ended up giving out all of my my order forms for the t-shirt quilts, just so people would have information about how to do that. I did learn a few lessons about from this. One thing is I overcharged the person who bought 3. I overcharged her by $10, and so I had to send that back when I sent the bag back. And but so I just have to remember to like take a calculator. Even though I feel like I'm good at math, I was a little flustered, and so it just got away from me. Another thing that I forgot to do is I have these awesome order forms, or what I think are awesome order forms, but they don't have my contact information on there. They just have my name. So when I prepare for something else, I got to remember to add my name onto the order forms or any information that I'm giving out about myself. Another thing is several people said, hey, do you have a card? And I really didn't have a business card. Thankfully, I had my QR codes, and I was just like, here, just scan here so you can have access to my YouTube and to my Etsy. But I do need something that has my contact information on the front and maybe the QR codes on the back. That'll be something that I work on for next time. And then the last thing I decided was that there's another festival that's coming up at the high school near me, and I want to be a part of that. And I just want to go ahead and make a plan for that now, so that when it happens in a few weeks, I can really be ready for that. There were some other options. If you watched last week's video with the reveal, you saw that my mom asked or said something about the bags that I made a long time ago, and there are some of those lying around here somewhere that they're like stuffed in a box that have never been used and can be sold. So I'll be digging some of those out. Also, that was such a good idea that my mom had that I was like, hey, let me make some more bags. And so the festival that I want to go to, it's 3 weeks from now, about 3 weeks. And so I want to go ahead and prepare by making some bags. I've started that process here. I want to try for 10 bags a week. I'll see what I can do. I have 10 bags all cut out. It has an outer fabric and a lining and straps. And so hopefully it'll be a super simple bag that just has what looks like a front and back and a snap on it that are just real simple that you can use as a reusable grocery bag or something like that. So that's one of my things to do as far as planning for this next fall festival. In addition to that, I have made a list of things that I need to do for week 1, week 2, and week 3, getting ready for this. And it includes, of course, preparing inventory, which I'm a little nervous about, but it'll be fine. Preparing inventory, but also making sure that I have the materials that I need. So I actually made sure to put order business cards this week, or one of them is print all of the quilt patterns in color. So just to make sure that I have all of those things. And then I have little check marks where you can check it off, or where I can check it off when things are done. So I'm really excited about that. Normally, I am not a go out and sell your stuff person. I'm more of a teach person. But I think that just selling some stuff can maybe help me reach some of those other goals I have for now, financial goals, but eventually, to help me down the road in some way, get me networked or whatever. I don't know. But it was a great experience. I'm so glad I did it, that I was bold enough to kind of step outside of my comfort zone and try it out. And I'm looking forward to the next opportunity. If you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, please leave them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing what questions you have. Also, just leave a comment to say hello. And if you enjoy my videos, just leave a comment that says that too. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!